During the 2024 AFL Final Series, I went to 3 different games in 3 separate states. And in this video, what I'll be doing is comparing all the 3 experiences to see which one I like the best. Now, just like the ticket system, we also have a rating system to compare with factors such as atmosphere, travel, seats, food, and game quality, all contributing to an overall score. We will go back to these ratings and compare them later on. But I think what we should do is go to our first game, I reckon.
Today we're here at the MCG for the only final of week 1, Hawthorn and the Western Bulldogs.
And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, it was absolutely packed. I actually don't think I've seen the MCG this crowded and busy in ages.
There's nothing better than packed out all these fans at a full house MCG for a final. You just know it's finals footy when that's the case. They're expecting 95.
They always say it's a sellout.
They always say it, exactly. They always say it and never ends up happening. I'm going to say 94,772.
I'm going to go 96,277.
We'll see who's closest to the dot by the end of the video.
Well, luckily, as I do live in Melbourne, the trip was only 40 odd minutes on the train, which was an absolute breeze compared to the next location.
Just under 24 hours before the start of the game. I am not flying because the flights are like $700 and screw that. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking a bus to Adelaide.
It was certainly a less than ideal trip to Adelaide, taking over 10 hours during the early hours of the morning. And because I arrived at 6:30 AM, I then had 13 hours to kill before the game started. So to kill that time, let's head to Sydney. So it wasn't that simple to get there. Because I didn't want to spend an arm and a leg, I first drove to the airport at 4:15 in the morning, then took a much cheaper flight to Newcastle, only to take a then 3-hour really crappy, boring train ride to get to Sydney.
Western Bulldogs v Hawthorn, probably the most highly anticipated final, especially elimination final in recent memories. Both these sides are really informed. You're going to expect a crowd, I reckon, of 95k. They're flocking in. Normally, that bar area is quite empty. It is absolutely chockers. It's full to the brim. So we do want to have a take a look to see, what they've set up pre-game. They've got over there a marching band.
A marching band. Yeah, this isn't going to be good. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought there'd be a little bit more extra pre-game stuff for a final like this. There really wasn't much at all.
A little Macca's store with a couple of handball drills. And it looks like they've got Western Bulldogs face paint as well. We are probably not in a good spot with all these people, but that is massive, that queue. What are they queuing up for? It's not like they're queuing up for MCC. If those are the queues to get in the ground, we might be in trouble.
Well, whilst I waited in line to get into the ground, let's head back to Adelaide to see what they had to offer pre-game.
So obviously game 2 is going to be at the Adelaide Oval, Hawthorn v Port Adelaide. So we're going to head in and see what a final at the Adelaide Oval is all about.
Go Power!
Got to say, early on the vibes are really high for Hawthorn, not so much for Port. Just seems to be more buzz around the area for Hawthorn as they're doing a segment right here. Tony Jones.
Look, YouTube. The great Mark Bickley. Look at that.
Well, certainly not as packed outside the ground as it was at the MCG. Didn't really feel massively like a finals footy vibe, and as bad as the marching band was, it still beat a sole woman waving a flag and whatever the hell this was.
Hey, Hawthorn merch seems to be quite popular at the moment.
To be fair though, manning Tony Jones was a bonus. I'm just lucky this wasn't a Djokovic tennis match though.
Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out.
Of course though, later on, both teams began to pack the stands and the atmosphere really started to build up. The Hawks cheer squad even had their own balloons and decorations set up, which I thought was sick.
Well, in 4 hours' time, this area is going to be completely packed. There's not only a final for the AFL at the SCG, but there's an NRL final literally right next door at Allianz. So in terms of amenities outside the ground, I thought there'd be a bit more for finals, but for all the 3 stadiums, I would have to say the SCG wins. You can, as you can see behind, a few more pop-up stores. You can get, win free footy cards, little giveaways and prizes. A lot of few food trucks as well. So the SCG, look, I expected more free finals, but I give them the points.
There was a huge Port function before the game, and I don't think I've seen louder or more passionate fans like this.
March tonight, but the Alberton crowd just about to storm in.
Welcome to Player League territory, Pat. And the atmosphere for an away team is about as good as it gets. support scarf, and I'm going to be riding them on in this one.
Now, when I go to the footy, I typically like to pick a team to support, even if that team isn't mine. And the massive Port March did win me over for their game against Sydney during the prelim. In the semi-final, I chose the Hawks over the Power, as I was there with my childhood mate of almost 10 years who was also a massive Hawks fan. And for the Bulldogs-Hawks ALM, I also went with the Hawks, as that's what my fans wanted me to go for, and I was also sitting with all the Hawks fans.
You do not need to stop or remove any personal items unless requested by security.
I'm hoping I can make it to my seats just in time for the national anthem. I missed both the teams right now, and I'm heading towards the other end of the G. I believe my tickets are near the Bulldogs cheer squad.
Tell me something more iconic about finals footy at the G than having over 90,000 people standing up for the national anthem. This was so incredible that it gave me literal goosebumps.
That is finals footy right there. That atmosphere is going to be hard to beat national anthem wise.
I figured I'd let you guys be the judge. Which national anthem was better? A, B, or C? Now, even during the finals, the Port crowd of course has to do never tear us apart, but leave that stuff at home. Do not let the Power bring that shit to an away game.
A spot in the prelim on offer. We're underway here at the Adelaide Oval. To get this underway, he does!
Absolute joke. Disgraceful umpiring decision.
And we are go. Perfect back. It is good.
The finals at both the MCG and the Adelaide Oval were both incredible in terms of the contest and the atmosphere. And despite the Hawks trailing by 2 goals at quarter time in both games, it seemed like they were well in the game. Meanwhile, at the SCG for the prelim, it was the home crowd that silenced the Port fans. With even in the first quarter seeming to be the much stronger side, and just the passion of the atmosphere just didn't seem like it was quite on the same level as it was at the Adelaide Oval and the MCG. Oh, and if you're wondering why no one is sitting in the front row, it's because the SCG is stupid and you can't see crap front row. I had to sit third row from the front and no one was sitting in front of me.
Hawthorn just started to turn up a notch here. The crowd's getting behind them.
Newcomb, they're in front. It's sneaking in. The left footer puts it through the big ones, and here they come. Wonderful pick-up, Morrison.
The Hawks fans, well, they were both great in Melbourne and Adelaide. As for the Hawks, they started to get back into the game, particularly against the Dogs, as they were leading at the half.
Nicely flicked to Drew, now to Rosie. This works. Superb.
That Port fan there likes it.
Loves it. Got his second. Because he does things like that. And a 27-point lead. Papley steps to the plate and kicks his second.
Bloody umpire's goal. That's it. That's half time.
After all that chaos, I needed a break at half time. However, it was almost an impossible task when I was at the Adelaide Oval.
Absolute chaos. Queues for the men's bathroom. days. It's better at the MCG in terms of wait times. Oh, the wait times at the Adelaide Oval for this final, they're pretty bad. Meal one of the 3 games, and I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard to beat. This chicken and chips that they do at the MCG now is honestly so underrated. This is going down a treat.
Now, for the sake of the video, I had to go for something different, and at the Adelaide Oval, I got a gourmet hot dog and chips. However, because of how long the queues were, it took me 5 minutes until the third quarter to receive the food. The food was actually quite tasty, but due to it being so messy and hard to eat with the sauce, as well as having to wait 20 minutes to get it, it'll probably lower my overall ranking.
I've gone for something a bit unique for dinner. Serving back $16. It's like a Hawaiian pizza, and it's, oh my god, it's cold. Holy crap, that's terrible. $16 for that. It'd be worth more just throw in the bin.
So that's exactly what I did. $16 down the bloody drain.
That was fucking shit.
No surprise with 3-2-1 ratings here. If I could give minus points to the SCG, I would. I needed to get some chips in me to get that rubbish taste out of my mouth, but that rubbish taste just kept on going in the second half for Port fans.
What a start this would be. Listen to this. That is right through the middle. Having a great night.
Guy's gonna freaking cry.
Watson, Gunston, look out, McDonald.
McDonald picks another one for Hawthorn. They picked 6 the last 7.
He's there.
Whereas the fans in Melbourne, they were for sure the loudest. For every Hawthorn goal that kept on coming, they got louder and louder, and the atmosphere was crazy. The crowd was almost 98,000, which was an Elim final record. And how cool during the finals are the colour separations with the blue and gold. Funnily enough though, a lot of the blue did vanish as the game went on.
Ambrosio's got Watson out. And if the game wasn't done, it will be now. McGuinness walks in. Warner runs around and makes him pay. Isaac Heaney nails.
Well, all hope was now lost for the Power as Dixon touched Lewis Melican more than the bloody ball. And when they finally did get that rare goal, they barely celebrated.
We're pretenders. This atmosphere is so elite. Holy shit. He's got the scarf on.
Here we are. They are through to the grand final.
To my surprise, I didn't know Sydney-siders were this passionate about footy as they went absolutely crazy after the win, but a few fans wanted to go a little overboard.
Sit down, you Another job next year! Come on! Let's go!
And if you want an example of what not to do after your team wins a prelim, this is it. With 2 out of the 3 games so far being blowouts, we head back to the Adelaide Oval, as at 3/4 time, we finally had a thriller on our hands.
And that's it. A three-quarter time.
5 points. Hawthorn to win by less than a goal. Who's going to kick the winner? Bruce.
Bruce to kick the winner.
Bergman, Watson in line for his third, rips it away and jams it through.
Kick wasn't quite there. Burgoyne! 2 in a row, Port Adelaide!
2-goal margin now. Sloppy defence from the Hawks. And Port in the box C right now to win this game. What the fuck's just happening?
Sicily got it. Sicily gets it.
He's got it. That's the goal they needed. That's the goal they needed.
Out wide to McGuinness. And he has kicked a goal!
4 points! 4 points!
Inside 50. Sicily!
This could be to win the game and put Hawthorn through to the prelims.
To give the Hawks the lead. And he thumps it into the post.
He's hit the post. 5 seconds.
Port Adelaide are through to a prelim final.
That's the best final I've ever been to. That was absolutely incredible. Hawthorn, they did well.
Well, with the 3 games in the 3 states over, it's time to now go through the final rankings. Now, as mentioned a little bit earlier, the MCG leads the way in travel. I mean, obviously, it was a 40-minute trip. National Anthem, and also the food categories, with the SCG topping the charts in pre-game activities. With the seats, I was fortunate enough to sit in level 1 for every game, but I'm going to give it to the Port v Hawks semi-final. I'm going to give the passion to the Port Sydney game because of the Port Adelaide pre-game march. I feel like you just got to give it to them. And just like with the National Anthem, you've got to give the atmosphere category to the Bulldogs v Hawthorn game. It almost had 98k fans. That's just crazy. But the amount of queuing was the least of the worries at the SCG, scoring the 3 points. The final 2 categories are worth double because I feel like they're the most important, game and enjoyment, and I've given them both to the Port Adelaide v Hawthorn game at the Adelaide Oval. I just feel like it was certainly the most thrilling contest, which for my personal experience, it was the most enjoyable. However, it still ended up being the Bulldogs Hawthorn Elam at the G that ended up winning overall with 26 points, and that's probably due to the eliteness of the crowd and atmosphere at the MCG, despite the game practically being over at 3/4 time. Now, plenty more of this type of content will be on the channel in 2025, so why not subscribe, hit that like button, and check out the best finals game that I've ever been to in this video right here.